How is your mental health? Hey, welcome back to Super Mom Knows Best. I'm Erin. Earlier this week, we talked about the mom in Ohio who was sentenced to life after leaving her baby home alone for 10 days. The woman claimed that it was due to mental health issues. And I don't know her story. I do not know if it was or if it wasn't. But I wanted to talk to you about your mental health and where you might be and what you might be struggling with. From the early age of 9, I have been helping taking care of kids, either my sister, neighbors down the street, growing up all the way to working as a preschool teacher, as a youth leader, and as a daycare worker. I have worked with children for over 20 years. And I'm not talking about my own children. I'm talking about other people's. I have helped them learn how to walk, talk, feed them, bathe them, and be their support systems when mom and dad were at work or just simply gone out on a date for the evening. I know how it is to be frustrated and to lose your patience with kids. They are complex little creatures and they're not always reasonable and logical. Go figure that a 2-year-old or a 3-year-old doesn't always understand why you tell them no, not to touch the stove. It's surprising. When I had my own, I thought this was going to be a piece of cake. I had been taking care of kids forever. I knew what to do. I knew how to change a diaper. I knew how to make a bottle. I knew how to bathe a kid. And I was like, this is going to be easy. And the first 6 months were. The first 6 months my oldest was here, he and I would play and I'd feed him and I'd change his diapers and we would hang out and we would nap together. And it was wonderful and great until that kid started crawling. He crawled early. In fact, he walked even earlier. By 10 and a half months, he was walking. By 12 months, he was running. And at 6 months, when he started crawling and rolling and threatening to fall off things, I started to not be able to handle it. He wasn't laying beside me anymore. He wasn't cuddling. Now he wants down. Now he wants to get into things and climb up on stuff. And I couldn't take it because I no longer had the opportunity to really just kind of sit him in his chair for a moment while I made dinner. Now it was crying and fussing to get out and get down and crawl around. My parents didn't live close by and they were still working at the time. They weren't retired like they are now. I would call my husband crying. Can you leave work early? Are you on your way home? You gotta give me a hand. I'm tired. I'm worn out. I can't get anything done. I've had it up to here. He wasn't sitting still anymore. He wasn't laying down. He was moving. I had had a system up to that point of how to handle my day, and he was challenging it. I had to find an outlet. I didn't want to be one of those mamas who ended up on the news who had lost her mind and driven off a bridge with the kid buckled in the back seat. I wanted to have some time to decompress. But I didn't have a whole lot of friends where we were living. There wasn't anybody I could really talk to. So to breathe in the evening, and once my husband got home and we had dinner and I handed off the kid very happily, I would put on my headphones and I would go outside and I would walk our neighborhood for 30 to an hour. It gave me a chance to decompress and to keep my sanity. Then when we had the brilliant idea to have a second kid, and they were 2.5 years apart, it got even harder. Well, because of course it did. I just added a second kid. What was I thinking? And of course I would walk, but along with the stresses of being an absolute stay-at-home mom and just life in general and family and all the issues that come along with it, I found myself talking to a counselor who worked with our church. Again, it gave me the opportunity to decompress and to talk out loud and talk things through. I didn't go very long, but I did go for a little bit and it helped me out. Then I found a women's Bible study and I replaced my counseling sessions with that. Again, getting out of the house, giving me a chance to breathe, step back, and take everything in. Now, if all mental health issues were that easy to take care of, we'd all be in a better place, wouldn't we? As I've said before, in this house, we understand depression. People in our family, be immediate or extended, have done their time taking antidepressants. When you find that talking it out just is not working for you anymore, sometimes it's time to admit that maybe medication is the way to go. I know that's a dangerous word and not a lot of people agree with it. Sometimes if you have tried everything else and nothing seems to help, make a dent, make you feel better, it might be time to look at that prescription. I'm not advocating one way or another. I believe that everybody's body chemistry is totally different from the person sitting next to them. And you can sometimes find an over-the-counter supplement that works for you better than the prescription from the doctor. I think we owe it to ourselves to try several different things to see what might work for you. You don't want to assume one is better than the other. That may not do you any good. Ashwagandha is a wonderful supplement that you can take over the counter. Some people do really well with it. Some people don't. Some people have terrible side effects like insomnia or making their skin crawl. Some people have zero problems with it and find that it helps lower your stress and anxiety. Some people, it makes them more anxious. When my father-in-law first started his antidepressants, he started off with one, found out that that one really didn't do it for him, and had to move over to a different one and give that a try. It happens. Everybody's brain chemistry is not the same. We were made different. We are wonderfully and differently, fearfully made. We are as different as snowflakes. Our fingerprints tell us how different we are from the person sitting next to us. Nobody's fingerprints are the same. So then why would you be expected for one prescription to work for one person to work for the next the exact same way? It's not going to happen. If you are struggling, if you are having problems, don't hesitate to get help and to do the research to find out what works for you. Talking to someone, going to an exercise class, hitting a punching bag, punching a pillow, screaming into a pillow. My son likes that one. When my little one really gets worked up, he has a trampoline in his room, just a little tiny exercise trampoline. And he jumps up and down until he feels better. Do what works for you. Figure out how to make sure your mental health is taken care of. And I hope that it is as easy as talking to someone or taking a 30-minute walk. I hope that for everyone. So I hope you like what I had to say today. Please like, share, subscribe, and I will see you next time.